Welcome to Financials with Ahau. It's a joy to be with you again today. We've already run into the year and we're 3 sessions, I think 4 in. We've been talking about securing wealth, just capturing different things. And today we have someone with us who will share a bit more on aspects of securing wealth. I'll invite her, she'll introduce herself, and she'll just continue to run with it. And we'll see what we learn. Grab a pen, grab your phone, and come together with us. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you, Patricia. My name is Cinderella Nekesa. I'm a financial advisor at Old Mutual Kenya. And I'm delighted to be here to just share a bit of knowledge that I have in the topic we are discussing today, securing wealth. And when I was given the topic, so much came to my mind. And I wanted to come up with something that will be important to the listeners and we'll teach each other because we all learn from each other and the learning process is continuous. So before I proceed and just start talking on how we secure wealth, there's so much that came to my mind. And I kept asking myself, how does your money personality influence your decision? Because each individual, you have your own personality when you have money. And where I sit, I look at it that we categorized into 4. We have those people when they have money, they are spenders. They will spend, they love to buy good things. They'll find themselves even just going out of their way to get debts so that they can spend. There are those that save. We call them the savers. They look for every opportunity to make sure that they are able to save every coin that comes their way. And most of these people are risk takers. Then we have that third category, we call them the investors. They invest in everything that comes their way. They diversify their investment and they believe that every shilling will give, like everything can, like whatever they do, it has to have value. And the last category, we have the dreamers. In this case, the dreamers focus more on the dreams they want to achieve. If I dream to own a chopper, they focus more on how they will get there. So as we start talking about on how to secure wealth, I think at a personal level, you need to categorize yourself and ask yourself, in which category are you? As these categories will determine on how you're going to grow and secure your wealth. So just to go to, because I thought of how do I define wealth? Because there's a difference between wealth and richness. Where I sit, wealth is having abundance of assets, having abundance of your monies are in place. You have enough. When you talk about rich people have a lot of money, but wealth is in terms of property, in terms of assets, in terms of tangible items and intangible items. And from a layman's language, for you to know how wealthy you are, it's you to take a total sum of you, whatever you own. Is it land? Is it property? And any other businesses that you've put in place, minus the debt you have. That is how you come to know how wealthy you are. So we have the rich people and we have the wealthy people. Your debt should not be above what you have as a person. So quickly, I will just go to what you need to do towards securing your wealth from a young age, because this applies to across all the ages. And number one, you always need to have a financial plan. When you have a financial plan, it will determine the goals you set for yourself. And these goals might be short-term goals, medium goals, long-term goals. And how do you come about to having a financial plan? This is the point you now decide to look for someone, an advisor. We have financial advisors, we have bankers that can help you just start planning. And because we all have goals, and sometimes it's just hard to prioritize our goals. It's good to look to get an expertise just to enable you to plan your goals and help you categorize this. For example, for instance, short-term goals. In the next 1 year, I want to buy land. What do you need to do towards buying your own land? Maybe you say in the next 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, once I bought that land, I want to start building. Remember, as you do that, land is an asset to you. It never depreciates. The moment you put up a house in that land, the land and the house, both assets. So you've started slowly growing your wealth in small bits. So once you have someone, they will help you go through what you need to do as a person to start working on the goals you have. And we also say that from time to time, because time keeps changing, keep reviewing your goals. For instance, 2021, I've just taken some years back, you had this plan to buy yourself another land away. Maybe you have the first one, and you need to buy the second one. Yeah, in 2023, you need to still review, because within that period, so much has changed. For instance, you got a job promotion. For instance, you started having more bills, you got a family. The goals will not remain the same. So we encourage that from time to time, keep reviewing your goals, because you realize the more you grow, the more you realize I need to have more and more and more. Goals that were set last year needs to be reviewed, adjust this year, and see how you can work towards that. Number two, you also, when you want to grow your wealth, have a culture to save for emergencies. When I talk about emergencies, I mean the unplanned events that come your way. Because you started the year, you said, I want to do this. But along the way, something comes up. And whatever that comes up might be positive or negative. It eats back in what you're trying to, it eats back to your goals. Because if you say, for example, this year I want to buy land, every month I want to set aside 100,000 towards that land, that I'm buying towards the end of the year. And an unplanned event comes up, such as sickness, you will go plowing back to your saving that was part of the goal you started. And therefore, for you just to secure that you will not touch on your goals, we always encourage, have an emergency fund. And this emergency fund, it's advisable to be 6 times your monthly spending. For in case of any eventualities, like sickness, like something in the family that we call it black tax, that needs your attention, that needs your support, you will go to your emergency fund and just get the monies from there. And when you talk of emergency fund, what are they? For banks, we'll talk about fixed deposits. And banks fix, when you say you fixed your money for 6 months, it's 6 months. We have the unit market products such as money market, where you generate your money is invested and interest grows on it on a monthly basis. And even we also have bonds, government bonds. They're also fixed as fixed deposit. You can fix your monies for 3 months, you can fix your money for 6 months, and you can fix your money for a whole year. Those are 360 days. For money market, it's very flexible. In money market, you can access your funds as and when there's a need. But for fixed deposit, banks and the bonds, you work with the fixed period you had invested the monies. Number 3, because we already talked about planning, number 1, you've said, I have this plan, you've put up your goals, you've done this and everything. We've talked about having an emergency fund so that you don't eat into your plans, that the goals you have. We encourage diversify your investment portfolio. Why do I say so? Different investments have different risks. You can, and when I say the investment portfolio, I'm just not talking about you putting your monies in the bank, putting your monies in the insurance companies. You can do property. That's an investment portfolio, and it's an asset you're growing. You can do putting your money in insurance companies. You can put your money in banks. You have those fixed deposit and everything. And the reason why we encourage diversifying your portfolio, it's for you to, there's that market volatility, the risk and everything. There are different categories where you invest, the risks are different. And like when you decide, let me put my money in a money market, and for instance, right now, like Old Mutual, the money market, it's at 12.9%. And you've projected knowing that if I do 12.9% for the next 1 year, I will have this on top and it will work towards growing my goals. But within the year, something changes and it goes to 6. So if you have put all your monies there, you realize that the expected income you wanted by end of the year, you will not get it. But if you diversified, some you've put them in property, some you put them in bonds, some you've put them other places, your risk is spread. Again, when you diversify your investment, God forbid a company goes under, doesn't mean that you're losing all the monies you have invested. And remember, not all investments are affected by the economy. We have some products in the insurance companies that are not affected by the changing market and everything. So in as much as you're doing properties, you're buying land, it's always good to have liquid money somewhere that you know this is a safe parking for me. Then number 4, invest in insurance. Now this is where the insurance people come in. Why do you invest in insurance? To protect your family. Why am I saying to protect your family? Because insurance companies have products that provide risk. For instance, the life covers that we have. How does a life cover work? A life cover is when you, let's say, for example, I am the breadwinner. I take up a life cover for my family. God forbid something happens to me. The family will be given whatever I had invested, whatever I had taken up for them. If it is 10 million that I had taken up for them, the money will be paid to the family 10 million. Still under insurance to invest in insurance to protect your family, we have disability covers. You take a disability cover in a way that you are working, and if something happens to you, that disability cover replaces the income. You might be disabled in a way that you can no longer work, but whatever you had taken up in the insurance company will replace, because you'll be paid and be able to still maintain the lifestyle that your family was living. And back, you'll still continue maintaining the goals you have. Insurance companies to protect family. We have critical illness cover. And this is where most families have been affected. You can work all year, many years, just trying to build your wealth, trying to have properties, and from nowhere sickness comes in. And we have seen it, it has really affected so many families where they have to sell their properties so that to take their sick person to the hospital. But when you have a critical illness, it covers the cost of medication. If you need a long-term support, like medication support, nurses, that's what it does. And so, by doing so, you are not eating in what you had invested, because you bought land, you bought assets, you bought property to grow your wealth. But if you don't take care of what can eat into your wealth, eventually sickness can eat it into your wealth. And you find that you have sold those properties that you have worked hard for. So you find that all this that insurance companies cover, they are basically out to protect assets from unexpected changes that comes along your way of growing your wealth. And we always encourage people that people with good plans always look at it and say, this is how I will protect it. In as much as I have a whole apartment somewhere, I wouldn't want to sell it just because I have been diagnosed by, let's say, God forbid, cancer. You got a stroke, you have Parkinson's disease, you have dementia. That's where insurance company comes in. I want to talk also about as you grow wealth, and with our current economies and everything, the issue of tax is really, really eating into people's, let's say, people money or something. So we encourage, be tax smart. And why do I say be tax smart? Be tax smart. Identify avenues where if I invest, whatever my investment is will not be imposed to taxes. And some of the insurance companies have products that you'll be tax exempted, like you'll get a tax relief. And these are for long-term products where you may be saving a certain amount of money. Then you get a tax relief, a 15% tax relief. For me, that is a breather with the current taxes we have around. It is a way to also reduce on how, at the end of the day, I'm getting this, I'm saving this, I'm getting a tax relief of this, it's a breather for, we know how the taxes are currently. And then we have life cover. For example, you've taken up a life cover and the person who had signed up for the cover dies. The amount that is paid out, it's never subjected to tax. So for instance, the cover was of 10 million. At the point when the family is claiming the amount is never, it's not subjected to tax. At the point you're investing, it's not subjected to tax. At the point of claiming, it's not subjected to tax. So always try and be tax smart, because also taxes really eat up. It is our duty to pay taxes, but also you look for ways on how do I at least get a breather on these things. And finally, have an estate plan to leave a legacy. Yes. Why do I say have an estate plan to leave a legacy? Under estate plan, we have a will, we have a trust, and estate planning. For wills, it's for people with I wouldn't say with little assets, but I will talk of minimal assets because it can be managed within the family. The issue of a family having assets and properties, but without when let's say for example the breadwinner or the person who was in charge of whatever the properties and everything dies, and then families start fighting, that is when you start breaking your wealth down. But as you grow up, as you start growing, as you start investing, and always think of having a will to yourself, so that once you're gone, your family will just have a good transition. Are they working together, or are they separating the wealth? Are they separating the assets? Who is doing what and what? Yes, the will, you and your lawyer can do that. But now estate planning, this estate planning, this is someone who has big, let me not say big, large properties. He has businesses. And the process of estate planning, if it's not well executed, we've had so many court cases around estate planning. We've had cases where the people that were left behind, they have properties, but they cannot access it because of the wrangles, and the transition was not well put down. And therefore you find you're fighting, you're losing money to lawyers, you're losing money. So whatever has been built over a period of time, because of lack of planning, it's lost at the end. And whatever you had for your family, whatever vision you had for your family, they end up fighting over it, and they just end up eating up the wealth until it can't just be of importance to them. So as I just close this, I've highlighted a few points on how you can secure wealth, and I know there are more, but I just want to leave you with a few, just food for thought, takeaways for securing wealth, just to highlight that you always need to plan yourself, financial planning. Yes, we never want to hear about insurance agents and everything, but befriend those people. Get someone to sit you down and just take you through your goals, what I want to achieve. Try and always have an emergency fund. Always. And emergency fund is just, it doesn't have to be big, but always try and make sure, am I putting 1,000 aside in that money market account? Am I doing a fixed deposit for a period of 12 months? Am I trying to see bonds? And I know of bonds, I think the minimum is, not sure, but I think it's 100K. Am I trying to do those fixed deposit, the bonds? And lately, the rate has been really good. It's at 15% point something. But now that one, you fix for a period of time, and then, yes. And diversify your portfolio. For instance, if you're doing business, diversify your portfolio, have different sources of income. And lastly, have insurance covers. Insurance covers have really played a critical role in people who are growing their wealth, because they take up the risks. When the risks come their way, the risk goes to the insurance company. When they want to just put money aside and just say, today I don't want to buy land, today I don't want to buy assets, let me place my money somewhere and get some interest on it, insurance company comes in. And the market currently has so many insurance companies that offer diverse products. So always try and just reach out. And sometimes meeting an insurance advisor, it doesn't mean you have to buy. It is you have the discussion, and then decide on what works for you. From where I sit, where we insurance, we say, prepare for worse, hope for the best. So when you prepare for the worst, you will always say, I need something that will cover me for this. That is when we'll talk about you need to have a medical insurance so that when you're sick, we don't have to sell a property and take you to hospital. You need to have a life cover. I've talked about it. You need to have a personal and funeral insurance. Nowadays, insurance companies have funeral covers. So that at the end of the day, because as the current situation is, you find that even the friends that you have around you are not able to contribute as expected. And you've lost someone, maybe the person has died outside the country. If you have a funeral cover in place, you'll just go to the insurance company. Yes, credit. So that is what I had prepared. And thank you for listening. Yes, Patricia, back to you.
Thank you so much. It's so good to hear it from the experts. It's so good to know that the products are really diverse, the opportunities are many. And would really love to reach out to Cinderella for more details. Would love if you could allow us to have your contacts or allow us to have a way we could get to you, because I know there are those who would want to continue this conversation.
Okay.
We'll have it?
Yes. Do you need my contact?
Yes.
I can just share my number, 0784 399 586.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for your time and the nuggets. We hope you'll come back again.
Yes,
We have
still.
There's so much to share. We have only one question. Yes. Is it too late to start now?
No, it's never too late to start.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any parting thoughts before we close?
No, just thank you for the time. I know we'll have more time because it's a wide topic.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you too. Thank you everyone for joining us. You keep writing, keep journaling. I hope you've picked something to challenge yourself to do. We've been told such key information that we can use to build. Let 2024 be the year that you begin to actualize your financial goals. It's never too late to start, and there's never too small an amount to start with. There's something for everybody. Thank you so much. It's a how, and looking forward to our next interaction when we continue to learn together.